Hey, Dan McDonald here, Life Regenerator baby. I wanted to connect with you one last time before I start the video marathon. I made a bunch of videos at Woodstock Fruit Festival with my friends and stuff, and I wanted to share those. But I wanted to connect with you one last time. I see a lot of people suffering with their illnesses and whatnot, and I want to tell you what I do myself in my own life. Uh, the the accumulations that take place in the human organism tend to accumulate in those areas of your body where you are weakest, whether that's genetically or due to some type of injury. But people have gotten into the habit of eating way too much food, and the reason is because they're starving. And so you can be eating tons and tons and tons of food, and yet you're starving. Because what are you starving for? You're starving for the minerals. That's why you go for the sweetness, because your body wants those sweet minerals. Or you go for the salty, because your body wants those salty type minerals. And so that's why you get all these cravings, and then you try to eat potato chips or meat or donuts. And of course you eat that and your stomach is so stuffed, and yet you're still hungry because you didn't get the minerals that you need. And so that's why I do the juicing. Because that way I get those easily absorbable minerals in my body. One thing that also really helped, I got a lot of questions the other day about I put the mineral supplements in Sophia and I's juices. It's just a little teaspoon, but it's called Mother Earth Minerals. And I put a teaspoon in there, and what it is it's a formula that has a perfect balanced ratio of minerals. And so therefore you can really begin to curb your appetite. Of course, the juices are the number one, but the problem is that the soil just isn't the same. And now here's the thing. I get the best food. I live in a place, the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, Central California, where there is locally grown, organic, farmers market food 12 months out of the year. So I live in the place where the food and the opportunity to procure high mineral dense, locally grown, very fresh, bioactive foods. Okay? And guess what? I still do not get enough good foods. I mean, I will get apples just picked, I will get the celery that was just picked, the lettuce, and yet the soil still is not the same, because a lot of times soil would be replenished in nature by volcanoes or rivers that would flood and bring all the minerals from the mountain, the volcanic ash, down into the valleys, and then the valleys would flood in the rainy season, and then it would bring fresh new minerals and replenish the soil. Well, now everything, even the organic food, is, commercialized, and it's not getting the same replenishment, the soil. So we're not getting like wild, highly mineralized, dense foods in that sense. We're getting these foods where the farmers, they're doing okay. I mean, they do their best. Like, not everyone can be like Barry Coral on the Barry Coral Fruit Farm, where he puts a lot of compost back into the soil. But it's a small operation, so he can do that. On those larger operations, they don't get to replenish the soil as much and take a lot of time to replenish with sea salt, solids, and put those back in the soil, and compost and worm castings. And so the food quality has diminished over the last 50 years precipitously. And that's why I like to use some supplementation. And so the mineral supplementation has been very, very helpful. That was at the time when things really began to uh, break loose in my spiritual journey. In fact, it's like, here's a warning. As soon as you start drinking the juices and taking the mineral supplements, because I had been juicing for years, but as soon as I started taking those mineral supplements, things started to break loose. Like there was awarenesses and there were these emotional stagnation that really began to break loose, because the reason why I looked into these minerals, and I learned about the Mother Earth minerals from Gabriel Cousins. Okay, and that was after I had spent time with Tavis, and he was talking about the conductivity. Well, I started to look into conductivity, and I was doing some more research, and I would spend like countless hours here in the bed with my computer looking stuff up, and also resourcing the minimal amount of the research books that I have here with me. Most of my books are still in the RV trailer, and I can't wait to go pick those up one of these days. But I do most of my research online, and I found out about the Mother Earth minerals through Gabriel Cousins. And then, of course, I was looking into the research there on the minerals. I began taking the minerals as a supplement, and that's when those minerals are individual frequencies of light and information. So, like, let's say, like, for the basic example, most people might understand that calcium, contracts the heart. Calcium is very important for the heart contraction, and the magnesium is important for the relaxation. So magnesium is generally referred to as the relaxation mineral. And magnesium is harder to get. Calcium is more prevalent. So we've got a nice contraction for the heart, but then a lot of times we'll find that the food sources, it's more challenging to get the magnesium. So making sure that you're getting lots of leafy greens is important, because that's where you'll find lots of magnesium. And what I do is I do experimentation. And so I just ordered the Mother Earth minerals in the male formula and the female formula. Well, I ordered the male formula first and tried it on myself. And as I got really good results, and I could see that the conductivity began to, increase, which was my intention. And through, what I learned from Tavis, added to what I had learned from Lou Corona. And then that I went and did some research and learned from Gabriel Cousins about the Mother Earth minerals. So everything started to make sense. So then I started to understand the synergy of minerals, and that's why I like the Mother Earth mineral supplements, because it has the balanced ratios. And so all I do is take a teaspoon of that every day, and then all of my, the most important minerals. There's also trace minerals too, which work synergistically. That's why, like, certain things like Brazil nuts are just loaded with all different types of trace minerals, because the Brazil nut tree is actually a non-hybridized, very heirloom nut. And I believe that the tropical areas is where the human beings developed, and the tropical fruits and nuts are the best foods for mankind. So with the Mother Earth minerals, male formula, female formula, which is a little bit of a different formula, because women need a different ratio than men. Now this is according to Dr. True Ott, who did his dissertation 40 years ago on the effects of minerals. And then of course Hilton Hotima is also very inspirational for me. Before that time, when Arnold Ehret was back in the old days, the fruit probably had 10 times the mineral content that it did. And even Robert Morse admitted that he kind of was at the end of an era of good fruit when he began his fruitarian lifestyle. That was in the 50s and 60s is when it all really began to go downhill. And now we're getting okay food, but I'm seeing a lot of the fruitarians understanding, yes, that we are frugivorous by nature. Because I just say that from my own experience, because when I eat just the fruits and just the juices, I get pretty thin, you know. But that's when I feel the best. I feel the best. I look better when I'm eating more of the fats and the seeds. I put on a little weight. I did a 30-day juice fast, and I went down to 145. I would sleep like 5 or 6 hours a night. Some nights I would only sleep 2 or 3 hours when I was just on juice. And that was when I did my 21-day detox protocol, which I will be launching here within less than about 10 days. Actually, we're going to be launching the 21-day detoxification protocol. It's so simple. If you follow it, you'll get results. I practiced that on myself. I went down to 145, and then, you know, I was going to stay skinny because I know people over there at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, they know that it's okay to be skinny. A lot of them are really skinny, and I would have fit right in. But Sophia said, you know, maybe you should put on a little weight. And it really touched my heart, you know, when she said that. She said, I love you. You look perfect and beautiful the way you are, but, you know, if you put on a little weight, that'd be good. So I was like, okay, cool. And I think we were like 3 weeks out. So within 3 weeks, I put on 15 pounds. And I went into the Woodstock Fruit Festival about 160. And I was sitting there next to Durian Rider, and I thought, I definitely look, you know, much better than Harley does. You know, when I was sitting there looking at us, we made a video. So I was glad that I put on those 15 pounds, you know. And the fat just slows me down a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It also coats my nerves, and it helps me to be less empathic, which I need to do at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, because I can't be taking all that frenetic energy, because the fruit these days isn't what it used to be, and so you get this frenetic kind of ungrounded energy. So it's important for me to stay fruitarian and liquidarian, basically, mostly like probably 75% of what I consume is in the form of liquid, and then I'll have a fruit meal or a salad meal at night, meaning some kind of melons or grapes. Last night I had pears and cucumbers for dinner. So I'm on point, and I'm losing the weight again, which is fine because I'm going back into another phase of illumination. So I just ride these waves. That's why I like myself, and that's why I'm able to help people, because I know how to lose the weight, I know how to gain the weight, I know how to get the energy up, I know how to slow it down, I know how to coat the nerves, I know how to saturate with minerals. I also use the Mother Earth minerals, the male formula, which just keeps me balanced. So all the minerals that are the most important ones to create that synergy, which is really what I'm about right now, is synergy. Because all the minerals and the enzymes and the vitamins work together to create an illumination, you know. And sometimes the raw fooders that I know, which I love, you know what I'm saying, I love what they do, but I just have to speak my truth, because I don't want to be super skinny all the time, and I don't want to have any problems with my skin due to fatty acid deficiencies, and I'm not interested in having nervous system disorders either, which I noticed in a lot of the fruitarians. Nervous system disorders, you know. And that comes a lot of times from the lack of B vitamins and a fatty acid deficiency, you know, and mineral deficiencies, so that the synergy begins to leave the organism, and then the beginning of the unraveling of the nerves and the tissues, and the glands stop functioning. Now here's the secret, and the reason why I have blown up lately personally, and why I'm just hiding out. By the way, I'm going to continue to make videos out of a business sense. I didn't get into this for the money, and I'm still not into it for the money, but it's the only thing that keeps me making videos, because I'm really ready to shut up and not say anything anymore about anything. Because that's when I feel the best, when I'm just in this room, drinking juice by myself, in the woods, out in nature, or at the hot springs, or sitting here in my room by myself, just chilling, thinking about the truth and the silence, and really trying to quiet the mind. Anyways, The secret is that the minerals feed the glands. Now, the fruit and vegetable juices is the best source of those minerals, hydration, vitamins, etc. But the thing is, like I said, the quality isn't there. So I shore it up with those mineral supplements, and everything has been smooth like clockwork, and the awakening has been taking place. And let me tell you, my friend, the awakening is not easy. It's not always pleasant. In fact, when I really after I started working with Tavis and began to understand a few more things, because that compounded everything I had learned from Arnold Ehret, Paul Bragg, Robert Morris, Lou Corona, Gabriel Cousins, Hilton Otima, and all these other incredible writers, Herbert Shelton. So the hygienists, I love them. I practice hygiene as much as possible, but I also bring in some stimulants sometimes to press me through certain scenarios. So I just roll with the environment that I'm in. That's the true master. Using food to accommodate the conditions of those environments. That's why I eat a lot of avocados when I go to the Woodstock Fruit Festival, so I'm not so empathic. You know, when I come home, I want to absorb the energy in this room and myself, which is this super awesome energy, which would never hurt anyone, take anything from anyone that doesn't want to give, have no intention of lying or manipulating, but really being authentic is my overall next step. You're going to see Dan the Man. All of the crazy stuff about Dan the Man. You're going to see that coming because I'm sick and tired of being boxed in. Period. The end. It's over. Dan the Ladies Man coming through. Dan the Skinny Man coming through. Dan the Bodybuilder coming through. Dan the ex-drug addict coming through. Dan the dancer. Dan the musician. Dan the ex-street drug addict, drug dealer. Dan the homeless dude on the street. Dan the guy that could sit in a room with billionaires and get along with them. Dan the guy that could go to an old folks home and do fine with them. Dan the man that could go sit with 8-year-old kids and chill out with them. All the parts of my personality are going to be coming out on these YouTube videos in the future. I'm breaking out of the box. Anybody can say anything they want. It doesn't matter. My goal for myself is to be authentic. Now, I'm going to get back because I'm getting better at going back after the tangents. But the thing is the minerals feed the glands. And the glands produce the hormones which keeps the hair in your head. And when you get mineral deficient, the glands stop producing the hormones. The minerals feed the glands. That's why I just drink the juices. That's all I want out of the food lately. Unless I'm trying to put on a little weight and play the role of, oh, there's Dan McDonald. He's 160, 165, and he's very fit. You know, but then I can go down to 145 and be like, run around here like 20 hours a day and get so much stuff done that you wouldn't even believe it. Like a chicken with his head cut off, but very focused, very, very energetic. And then I'll put on some of the weight, slow things down a little bit. Let's say the physical performance is different. It's not better or worse, it's just different. So when I'm on just the fruits and juices, I can go on running or cycling or even weightlifting. But then when I eat some more of the fats, it slows me down a little bit. The athletic performance isn't quite there, but I'm a little chunkier, a little meatier, a little more manly. Lay down with my girl, we like, what's up? Grunt like a caveman, come here baby, you know. And the fat really pumps up my testosterone as well. And I use bee pollen, royal jelly, pine pollen as well if I ever want to lay down the law. I go through periods of celibacy and I go through periods of laying down the law. It just depends on how I feel and what's going on in the relationship at the time, but I like bouncing back between everything, you know, but I'm good to go all the time. So that's the thing, you want someone with experience, that has experience in gaining weight, losing weight, eliminating diseases, getting sober, finding a way to get happy, producing prosperity, breaking through barriers. This is DTM, Dan the Man. That's why the authenticity is blowing up. So my recommendation to all the people is, if you heard anything that was cool on this video, run with it. And the other thing too is for the people with the thyroid disorders, the people that are overweight, the people that are having digestive issues, everybody who wants to increase health, conductivity, synergy, flexibility, energy, vitality. You're going to want to focus on the minerals. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend get on the mineral foods. But that being said, the mineral supplements will help you to break your food addictions. Your body's confused. You've been so programmed from the billboards and the commercials to eat that crap, and now your cells are addicted to it, and your brain and nerves are addicted to those stimulations. And you can begin to curb those things. Like if somebody's smoking or still on drugs, that's when I would recommend the mineral supplementation from Mother Earth Minerals. There's a link down below these videos from now on, because I'm really, really into these supplements and I take them every day. I'll explain in another video maybe later on about the gold and the platinum group minerals, the product called Ultimadium, which is very much more expensive, but you only need 8 drops, and I take that every day before meditation to enhance the pituitary and the pineal gland. This is way too far out for the average person, but I'm just here for the ones who are interested in those higher levels. The masters were talking about this stuff thousands and thousands of years ago. They were alchemists of the highest order. They did fasting, they did juicing, they did raw foods, they did the essential oils, they did the mineral supplementation. And they've been talking about it, but it all got buried because the last thing on earth that the church wants is for you to know the truth. Isn't that funny and highly coincidental? That the last people on earth are the religious institutions on earth that want you to know the truth. The truth sets you free, and religion imprisons you, and then you're imprisoned in all these thought structures and you can never get free. That's why I like to sit here this morning. I double my meditation, I'm doubling my yoga, I'm doubling the breath work, because it's just my time, and I'm doing less online, and I'm trying to knock this out of the park when I get a chance to make a video. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, because being on the computer all day takes me out of that place that I want to be. So I make the video and I leave it up to you to get your juicer out and use it every day. And use the mineral supplementation as well to heal yourself from smoking and drinking and your sugar addictions and your meat addictions, and basically get to a place where you're calm, peaceful, and centered. And we live in a world of stimulation where it becomes very, very difficult for people to relinquish that stimulation and be calm and peaceful and centered, because that scares the ego. It doesn't like that. So when it starts feeling that empty, open space of the silence out of which all the phenomenon arise, that scares the ego, and it goes and eats something, humps something, watches something on TV, goes for some exercise, or the other 10,000 myriad of distractions that we use to keep ourselves from actually feeling what we feel. Feeling ourself with a capital S. Feeling that big empty space where everything comes from that space. We are that totality. And when we start going into that place, we begin to lose that identity that we have been so accustomed to. And we start to, that's what I've been going through. Dan the man isn't the same guy that he was when he first started this thing. And there's still the residues of that personal person illusion. Dan, I liked you when you were a long-haired hippie in front of the trailer giving away everything for free. Well, that was a great part of the thing, but I mean, I don't know about you, but do you want to be broke? It seems like you want to pay your bills, so that's all I'm saying. So there was always a purpose to this, and the other secret before I let you go is this. Everything is happening spontaneously on its own due to the nature of the totality of the conditions of the entire universe. So you are just a spontaneous effulgence of infinite conditions. So give yourself a break. You know what I'm saying? So just take it easy on yourself. You're the product of what you do and how you respond to the infinite conditions that are taking place in the totality of the whole entire universe. So unless you're the one, you know, who makes the sun shine, then you should cut yourself a break. You know what I mean? You don't want to take credit for the sun shining. It just does it itself. You know. So let's get smart here on planet Earth. Open our minds again. I'm trying to bring a new element to the raw food, to where people can be open-minded. You know, like with the raw bras, you know, if I avoided everyone who ate animal foods, I would never talk to anybody. I wouldn't talk to my best friend. No, I could talk to Lou Corona, I could talk to Tavis Bradley, and I could hang out with Christina Carrillo Bucaram. Those are the three people that I know personally, you know, that I could hang out with. If I didn't, I couldn't hang out with my kids. I couldn't hang out with the raw bras. I mean, Sophia goes with her family and whatever, has a little something, something. I mean, you know, a piece of cheese or something. I mean, whatever. I mean, it would be ridiculous. So I don't base anything on that. I have my own experience and my own stuff that wants to come through me, because if people knew this stuff about the minerals and the juicing and take a colonic and learn how to relax when you eat and mono eating, one thing at a time, and learn that we're actually fruitarians. And if you could get through the initial letdown, when you pull the meat out, it can take several years to get your brain and your nerves and your adrenals to function again without the stimulation of the epinephrine, of the decomposition, the adrenaline that's in the animals when they're being slaughtered is taken into the bloodstream, and then your own adrenals shut down. You get addicted to the meat, the epinephrine, which is adrenaline. You also get a very good stimulation through the metabolic raising, because the body wants to eliminate that meat as soon as possible. So there's a raise between 25 and 50% in the metabolism. So growth is accelerated, and the desire to procreate is also accelerated. The metabolism goes up. You get stimulated from the meat, which I have no problem with stimulation at all. But we all need to be honest for what it is. So if you want to live longer, healthier, and have longevity and more of a spiritual countenance, where you're just more spacious. That's why the vegetarian diet and the vegan diet is promoted by many of the yogis in India. The acceleration of the metabolism is the case of the consumption of the meat due to the putrefaction of animal flesh. The animal flesh begins to putrefy as soon as the animal stops breathing in oxygen to keep the cells oxygen in the tissues of the animal flesh. And when you kill the animal and it stops breathing, the blood begins to oxidize and the flesh begins to putrefy at that moment. So the putrefying flesh is what stimulates the metabolism, stimulates the growth in children. And that's why your daughter is 12 years old and has fully developed breasts and is already having her period. So there's a lot going on, and everyone has free choice. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I don't do black and white. I just do what is spontaneously. I'm just here to play a little role. I'm a cog in a wheel. That's all I am. That's all I've ever been. I'm a cog in a wheel for people who need this information now. It doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me wrong. I'm simply excited at this time about the minerals. I'm excited about the juicing. I'm just excited about the discipline that's required to relinquish stimulants in my diet personally and use only the nourishing high mineral, high water fruits, so that I get into a place of hydration, flexibility, conductivity, synergy, illumination, and nervous system vitality by the regeneration of the brain, instead of stimulating the brain and nerves, actually nourishing the brain and nerves with the cosmic radiation through the sunlight, through the breath work, through the earthing when I put my bare feet on the earth, through the pollen that's in the air when I hike through the woods. Okay, and so these are the more important elements. And the cleaner the body gets, the less you need to eat to sustain your life. And these are the truths that have, through experience, that I share here. I read about these things, I contemplate them, I practice them, and I prove them to myself or disprove them to myself. And then what I do is I make sure I put everything into context. And I say, well, is this bad or good? Well, then I say it depends on the conditions. If I was in Siberia and it was 20 below and all there was yak meat and I was going to die and I would never see my daughters again, and a lot of the hardcore militant vegans will say, oh, I would die and never see my daughters again. It just depends, on the situation, on where you're at in your consciousness. Would I eat the yak meat to survive and see my daughters again? There is a likelihood. Or see Sophia. I would probably eat the yak meat, get my ass back here, see Sophia, see my daughters, the people that I love, because I would want to hold on for them, to see them again, because I love them. So I would eat the yak meat, and that would create friction. That would raise the metabolism. I would put on the little fur coat and the fur boots, and I'd walk back to society. Then I'd get on a bus, and then I'd get on the plane, and I'd get my butt back here, and I'd take a couple colonics, and I'd go on a 40-day juice fast, clean that out of me, and be good to go again, and give Sophia a big kiss on the lips, and take my daughters out to gourmet raw food again and let them eat whatever they want and spoil them to death and buy them some clothes. So it all depends on context. More importantly than the food trip is giving people the peace of mind that they're innocent and that everything depends upon the conditions at the present time. So we need to relinquish the guilt. Okay? I know that. I know. I've walked around with bags of guilt since I can remember. Excuse making or justification. I'm Dan McDonald. I'm doing the best I can. I'm really sorry that I can't please everyone. I can't. Be prepared for the life regenerator to come forth as his full true self. This was as authentic as I think I've been in a while. I'm ready for the flashback, but I'm only interested in the people who are interested in learning this stuff and experimenting and being open-minded. There's so many people that are in the raw food that are so closed off, and I see that's why they don't have that illumination. They eat a great diet, but they don't have the illumination because the mind is closed and there's blockages to the flow of energy. And I just get up here and I just rap, and none of it's personal, and it's all good, and I am just simply, my prayer is to be used by the One to benefit, and I just speak this truth to the best of my ability. Sophia really pumped me up. I don't know why I'm saying this, but it's coming through. She said, Dan, you're a genius. And that's all she said. Because of the way that I live, because of the way that I never stop seeking more truth. I never stopped seeking more peace and quiet. I never stopped looking for ways to help people and be honest and true to myself. Also to help her, but not force it on her, but just inspire her and inspire everyone who's around me, because I live a great life. I am almost 40 years old, and I have more vitality now than I've ever had in my entire life, and it's getting better and better by the health choices that I'm making. I'm going to let you go now, so keep your eyes peeled for these videos. I'm going to share what I'm really up to as the time goes on. And so I'm looking forward to that very much. I did a video for the Insiders Club, which was just Sophia grabbed the camera and just made a spontaneous video. So sign up for the Insiders Club if you haven't done that. And you're going to want to get those videos over there, because those are some of the better videos that I make. more personal. And then do me a favor, if you're not a part of my, if you haven't liked my Facebook page, please go do that now. I want to get that thing over 20,000. I've been working on that for quite some time. It's pretty cool. I do a lot over there. Even if I'm off the YouTube, I still go over to the Facebook and do a couple posts every week to let everybody know I'm still alive. And some of the more inspiring things that happened to me, I post that on Facebook. So go over to Facebook and give that a like. And the links down below for the minerals are down below as well. So if you're interested in anything that we talked about here, try that out. For the men, try the male formula. For the women, try the women's formula. There's some other incredible products that they have that are just angstrom-sized minerals, which the plants absorb the angstrom-sized minerals. 800,000 angstroms is how thick a credit card is, so it's very, very small. So thank God for the modern science and making available to us these wonderful tools. So I use the ancient knowledge of the masters. I follow the laws of nature to the best of my ability, but I'm also up to date on how we need to survive and thrive in a modern world which is changing at a breakneck speed. So you want to be simultaneously the ancient way while simultaneously using the modern things that are available to us now, which will improve our lives, because we live in a world where we do need to take care of this living organism so that the eternal and infinite part of us has a place to express itself and do its work while here on planet Earth. Subscribe to these videos if you haven't already, and drink your juice and eat your fruit and get a colonic and get a massage and take care of yourself and see the innocence in yourself. And don't let your mind get you down. Let your mind do its thing, but remember who and what you really are. Remember who and what you really are today. And feel that innocence. It's like a childlike, eternal, childlike curiosity. So be childlike today. Be curious. Have fun. Take everything with a grain of salt. Experiment. Have fun. Be at peace. Be at peace when those parts of yourself are screaming non-peace. Observe it. Become the witness and observer to you as a phenomenon, a rare occurrence in the universe, and a most beautiful thing, in my opinion. You are the most beautiful thing that was ever created by God. And we should all really celebrate that today. And we should celebrate our differences. And we should celebrate our uniqueness. And if you're like me, you've got a lot of different sides to your personality, baby. You can be serious, and you can be so goofy, and you can be funny, and you can be crazy, and you can be depressed, and you can be angry, and you can be all these things. Or you can compartmentalize some of it and hide it away from the world and be fragmented all the time, and it's so much pressure and it wears you out trying to put on an act for everybody. I'm sick of it. I can't do it anymore. I can't worry about my career. I can't worry about what the other raw food teachers are saying about me, because that crap just wears me out, man. I don't have time to be wore out, because that'll take away from who I am in my life and the awesomeness of this journey that I'm on, which is an amazing, incredible journey. So pay attention to the Life Regenerator, Dan McDonald, because good things are happening and bad things are happening, and I love it all. And at the end of the day, at the end of this journey, I know that that which is in me is going to find what it's looking for, and I will end up in a world of infinite, eternal peace that passes understanding. And that for that, I gotta say amen to the peace that passes understanding, the total self-acceptance of all that is in each and every moment. Raw foods and spirituality, those are my things. They're one and the same to me. The raw foods is my spiritual path. The love is the impetus and the peace that passes understanding, is the field out of which all life arises, and is at the same time, coincidentally and paradoxically, the goal. So peace is the drive, peace is the field, and it is also, like I said, paradoxically, the goal. So let that peace perfect itself in you as you become your authentic self, because 100% authenticity, 100% authenticity is peace, because peace is your true nature. It's what we are. The mind gets programmed and does not allow the peace to arise. We will learn to quiet the mind with our diet, our meditation practices, our authenticity, our genuineness, our vulnerability, and our courage to be who and what we really are. Who and what we really are at the deepest levels. I think this is one of the most important videos I've ever made. At least that's how I feel in my heart at this time. Thank you so much. Praise be to Thee, O Lord Most High. Thank you so much, whoever you are. You're awesome. I hope that you can feel that today. Be your awesome true self. Be your awesome true self today. Let down your guard and be authentic. Thank you for joining me in the sanctuary.